This evening, the Ministry of Finance is calling in a team from the IMF to explore ways in reducing VAT. The passport office was a hive of activity and much contention this morning. In a strange twist, the opposition now praises Blanham as crime chief. Some changes have been made to the parade schedule for the 50th independence celebration. In the region, in Trinidad, members of the Boys Lane March group based in Dibadi are marching against crime. And internationally, Bill Cosby is due to stand trial on the sexual assault charges.
From Safetv headquarters in South Rambert Gardens, this is Safetv Headline News with Rihanna Ahmed.
Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel. Join us. Finance Minister Winston Jordan said that the promise made by the APNU-AFC coalition to reduce the value-added tax, VAT, was a touchy subject and that the Ministry of Finance planned to call in a team from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, to explore ways in reducing VAT. Andrew Weeks reports.
According to Minister Winston Jordan, reducing the VAT in Guyana will come with some big decisions that must be made. Some of those decisions may not be pleasing with the Guyanese public. He explains why.
That doesn't attract VAT at the moment. Electricity, that doesn't attract VAT at the moment. If you remember in Trinidad, when they reduced the rate, they broadened the base. What I mean by broadening the base? They remove almost all of the exemptions. Right? All the zero-rated goods. And so that even baby foods today attract a VAT in Trinidad.
Minister Jordan went on to state that they may have to finally come to a decision on what is durable to remove the exemptions and put on a reduced rate on VAT, or what is not durable.
And so that discussion is engaging the attention of the cabinet. Once more or less something final has come out there, we will throw it out to the public, and then because we don't want, VAT is a very, very touchy, very touchy issue. And I could tell you further, the Tax Reform Committee did some good work, okay? But so much concerned we are about, the implications of reducing VAT and what it means in terms of broadening the base, that we have asked the IMF through their Caribbean region, CARTAC, to send a mission, and they're about to send a mission to do the assessment.
Minister Jordan said that the assessment team will be made up of 1 or 2 persons that will do a complete assessment of VAT. One often wonders when those changes in the system will be made, or when the team would have completed their assessment, how soon VAT will become less of a burden to the taxpayer. Minister Jordan says,
whatever is agreed will not be implemented before the next budget. Because there are already a set of measures in the existing budget, right, for which they have been agreed and for which we have already gone to the Parliament and so on, right? Even if we agree to a measure now, you still have to get it to Parliament, okay? And you still have to debate it and so on and get it passed and so on. So it's not something that could happen, okay, we agree to reduce VAT today and then by month it happens. No, it's not going to happen like that. It has to go through the readings in Parliament, the debate, and so on and so forth, then passage, then assent, and then you have to have that 1 month of in the papers where like where you had recently, and so on. So it's not. So generally, these kind of major changes you tend to leave for around the budget, rather than unless there's something substantial happening in the economy for which you require quick changes in the tax and so on.
So Rihanna, Guyanese will have to wait a bit longer for changes in VAT. Minister Jordan also posited that some of the recommendations made by the Tax Reform Commission in January were included in the 2016 budget, while other recommendations were engaging the attention of the cabinet. Back to you, Rihanna.
Thanks, Andrew. In a rare scenario, the opposition's Clement Rohe is full of praise for Wendell Blanham as he lauds his ability to solve crime in the country and to demonstrate his superiority as crime chief. This report will explain more. Crime Chief Wendell Blanham, who has been in office for just about 1 year, has led investigations into a series of cold cases that have now been solved. This includes the latest discovery of the skeletal remains of Babita Sarju, who went missing over 6 years ago. Relatives have so far positively identified the pieces of clothing recovered with the bones to be that of the 28-year-old mother of one, who was reportedly killed by her husband, who then buried her in the backyard of his 51 Seaforth Street, Campbellville, Georgetown residence.
I want to thank the police for those who put out the full works in allowing me to get fair justice. They did a good job, and I want to thank the crime chief also.
That was Champa Sunarain, the relieved yet traumatized mother of Babita Sarju. Meanwhile, after repeatedly criticizing the government for failing to protect the citizenry against crime, the opposition People's Progressive Party Civic is commending the Guyana Police Force and even calling for the crime chief, Wendell Blanham, to be promoted.
For promotion from Senior Superintendent to Assistant Commissioner of Police.
PP's General Secretary Clement Rohi admitted to reporters yesterday that the current crime chief has been performing much better than Sila Prasad, who was operating during the time that the PPC was in power.
Blanham was, since our time, being considered to be the Commissioner of Police. Sorry, the crime chief. There was, however, some discussion about fast-tracking him upwards to this position, having regard to the fact that there was the former head of Special Branch, who was then the crime chief.
But this role, he claims, was put on hold after the prorogation of Parliament and the elections that followed. There was commotion at the passport office this morning as Guyanese are finding it hard to understand the process being used. Headline News was there, and Kingsley Bryan brings this report.
The huge crowd and the unmistakable look of an angry crowd drew our cameras to the scene. There, it was explained that a large part of the crowd would have to return home. Apparently, this was not the first day of such happenings. It appears that a process has been put into effect whereby a set quota of numbers is issued daily, and that number alone will be served for the day. This was overheard being told to the crowd by an immigration officer who refused to comment.
Come by 4 days, they must come, they must send number, and they must send you back, they must chase you.
And it's very expensive to come from Barbie store here.
3 days now, ridiculous as a guy, and he's cannot get a passport. And they have in this line here, and then I say they close off. When they wait till 10, 11, because then they say they close off.
One woman found it very hard to contain her frustration with the process.
I will stand for them to me then close off. Let the people know early where you're closing off from. If you know you're closing off, make sure you're close off the line.
There were those who shared ideas on how they think the process could be made easier for the general public.
When they close up, they should issue the numbers. So when you come in the morning, you know exactly where you're being placed. What sense? I was here since yesterday. They said they close off. You come this morning, they close off again. Issue the numbers.
Let them send you from such a village. You have an office there. It's better for us. We don't have to waste so much time. On the line, when you come here, you see how the line long.
That is actually a work in motion, and efforts to contact Minister Felix proved futile. The Deputy Chief Immigration Officer also refused to comment on the issue. Rihanna, while this may be so, it is hoped that there is a speedy solution to this problem, which is placing Guyanese in such a strain at this point in time.
Thank you, Kingsley. Coming up on Headline News after the break, Moses Nagamoto on his first year in government, and the government is gearing to make the mining sector safer.
If you're in town and you're looking for a mall with everything under one roof, then you need to go to the Parliament View Vendors Mall. Here is why.
I save money right now. And when people come in and feel in the place, I tell them to come back and support us.
You can get your bread, your top of your fruits, your hats, your pants, everything in this one location.
The mall is very comfortable. The working facilities is more comfortable, so people feel more relaxed to come and support us.
Wonderful greens, fresh and nice, fresh caloo, blondie, fresh and nice. We are right here, Parliament View.
Get the roads to the mountain, everything again. Clean out.
You know where we used to sell before? I told them tell people we want in your mall.
Come to Parliament View, get juice, milk and a bun from me.
Come and support us.
Go to the Parliament View Mall And support your vendors, support your persons who you bought from.
The new Parliament View Vendors Mall. Everything fresh and clean and in order at one location. Sponsored by the Mayor and City Council of Georgetown.
As we celebrate 50 years of Guyana's independence, let's get together and spend an evening at the grand Best in 50 Retro Show and Dance on Friday, May 27th, 2016 at the Pegasus Poolside. Come and reminisce as you mix with the elegant, matured, and sophisticated while you enjoy the show and party to the best retro sounds. Tickets are $15,000 per couple and $8,000 for single with dinner included. Avoid disappointment and book your tickets and tables now. For bookings and tickets, call 223-6047 or 696-5746. That's 223-6047 or 696-5746. It's the Grand 50th Retro Show and Dance, Friday, May 27th from 8 p.m. at the Pegasus Poolside. Dress elegant, come early, and stay late.
It will be the biggest celebration in the history of Guyana, the Golden Jubilee, with the biggest reggae artist of our time, Varys Hammond, along with his band performing over 3 decades of hit songs. Also performing the young super talented reggae star Christopher Martin and his band, plus Guyana's very own Tamika Marshall, Calvin Burnett, and the Heatwave Band. A night of great reggae music, 50 Shades of Reggae. Also performing Guyana's Lisa Punch. Friday, 27th of May at the National Park. Secure parking will be provided. Early bird tickets $3,000, $4,000 after. VIP $15,000. Brought to you by McNeil Enterprise, Hits and Jams Entertainment, HJ Waterworld, Fly Jamaica, the official airline, Star Party Rental, Hotel Tower, Nigel Supermarket, TVG, Giftland Mall, and Gizmos and Gadget. Different.
Basketball fans, get ready for the invasion of the mighty DC Jammers of the US of A. Yes, they are coming to challenge the reigning top 4 basketball clubs in Guyana. The Goodwill Tour begins on Saturday, May 21st, when the Jammers battle the Ravens. On Sunday, May 22nd, they take on the Raiders from Linden. The action continues on Tuesday, May 24, when they match up with the Pacesetters. Then come Friday, May 27th, the DC Jammers takes on MVP Stanton Rose and his champion club, the Bounty Colts. All games starts at 18:30 hours at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall. Supporting games will feature Youth Basketball Guyana. Tickets cost $1,000. Children under 12 absolutely free. Chow Power will be in the house with lots of giveaways. Don't you dare miss the excitement. It's a Jubilee celebration. Basketball is back, sponsored by Mackinson.
Everybody Guyana is turning the big 5-0, and we're planning the biggest celebration to mark this momentous milestone. Independence Juve. Just after the flag rising ceremony from 12 midnight to 6 a.m. Celebrate with some of the most electrifying performances from Kez the Band, Kestra, Kerwin DuBois, Jomo, Crazy Ace, Shelly, Super Ray, Jackie Jacks, the Heatwave Band, Fusion, and Boom FM DJs at GCC Ground Borda.
Tickets $2,000. $3,000 at the gate, $12,000 stage front.
Independence Juve. Let's have a good time together.
Prime Minister Moses Nagamootoo said that coalition governments around the world are facing challenges. However, the Prime Minister noted that the APNU-AFC coalition was the best thing that happened to Guyana and that it was here to stay. Andrew Weeks reports.
Prime Minister Moses Nagamootoo, in response to Communications Officer of Gina Azim Khan, had this to say about the challenges encountered after 1 year in government.
Guyana had a history of two-party coalition. It broke up. Trinidad had a situation of a two-party coalition. It broke up. So England had a coalition of two parties, mainly. I think there was a third party. It broke up. They lost power as well. So all around the world, it has always been difficult to keep coalitions going. And it must be to the credit of the APNU-AFC that we are able to remain a stable coalition, a strong coalition, and not allow the doomsayer the naysayers to crack us up.
But it was WPA executive member Dr. David Hines who stated that the AFC is getting power drunk since it got to the throne. That statement was published in the Kaiser newspaper May 9, 2016. Right after that statement, the AFC had sent out a statement denying that it had become an opportunistic faction of the coalition. Dr. Hines fired back and said that the AFC party has its usefulness and much strength, but on the matter of the fight for freedom, the AFC had no history or credibility. However, Prime Minister Moses Nagamootoo feels the coalition is still young and the road ahead is long. Therefore, with meaningful negotiations, the coalition will go a long way.
In this last month, while we are trying to adjust and readjust to some specific experience, we did so out of a necessity that one, we must cooperate. Two, we must find grounds on which we can agree, not disagree, on which we can agree. Three, we must cement this coalition and make it last. And four, we want to continue to send the message to the Guyanese people that this APNU-AFC coalition was the best thing that could have happened in Guyana in the last 50 years.
The Prime Minister also feels that post-independent Guyana deserves a rainbow coalition that will foster the vision and the ideals needed for national unity.
Post-independent Guyana deserved a rainbow coalition that will hold out the hope and the image of national unity, ethnic, racial, cultural, religious diversity. All of these elements and virtues are evident in the coalition. And so, yes, no one has said that coalition would be easy, but I believe that the maturity that our leadership has shown in the coalition is that we could deal with our challenges in a mature way, and we could cope with some difficulties and resolve them as we move along. Because in the end, it is not in the interest of the coalition to play upon differences. The hope of all Guyana is that this coalition can pull through.
But, Rihanna, the question on everyone's mind is that the coalition is taking too long to act on issues of national importance. What about those big fishes of the former regime who have committed many atrocities, who have raped the state of its assets and given them to their friends and family? Some are even saying that the coalition is playing the game of the mission of mercy. When will the coalition show its mighty hand of justice? These are the questions and more plaguing the minds of the people. Rihanna, back to you.
Thank you, Andrew. The administration is gearing to make the mining sector safer for both those involved in mining and, more importantly, the environment. President Granger says enforcement is the key factor to achieving this. Kingsley Bryan provides the details in this report.
Given the rising and present challenges the world faces from the effects of climate change, more focus is being placed on the preservation of the environment. The mining sector, historically, has taken a toll on the environment, and Guyana is making a conscious effort to address this. President Granger says there has to be a wiser form of mining.
It's a question of ensuring that whatever damage is done is either limited or reversed. That is, in the case of mining, after a mine is mined out, there could be reforestation and the area could be replanted. You can't put back the gold in the ground, but you could limit the damage.
President Granger noted that while Guyana does not contribute in a net way to global warming, the state has the responsibility to ensure it remains that way.
It's a question of enforcement. We need the goal and we need the safe environment. And the state has responsibility for preventing this sort of damage. I know damage has occurred, But in other areas of the world, that damage had been, could be limited.
The head of state noted it is a holistic agenda that should not just be concerned with LCDS, but several aspects of everyday life. At a press conference last week, Natural Resources Minister Raphael Trotman announced that the ministry is already taking steps to aid these preservation efforts.
The preservation of the environment remains high on the list of priorities of the ministry, and efforts have been made not only to talk the talk about environmental preservation, but to support action that will have an impact on the environment. These efforts are being implemented under our new project, a Clean Environment Project is what it's called.
While the state has the responsibility to ensure a safe environment is kept, there is a charge for every one of those involved in the sector to make a more conscious effort to preserve the environment as much as required. Rihanna, back to you.
Thank you, Kingsley. The National Commemoration Committee has big plans for the 50th Independence celebration. Some of these plans also consist of minor changes to the parade. George Gonzalez was there when the announcement was made and filed this report.
The two main events of the Jubilee celebration are the flag raising and the float parade. Minister Nicolette Henry, Committee Chairman Lennox Canterbury, and PR representative for the celebration Caroline Walker described what the plans were for the two events. Tomorrow evening, the 25th of May, the flag-raising ceremony will commence. The ceremony will take place at the newly constructed Durban Park. Entertainment and cultural presentations are planned for the evening. The entertainment portion of the event starts at 8 p.m. President Granger and Prime Minister Nagamutu are scheduled to arrive at 9:30 p.m. A float parade welcoming the President and Prime Minister starts at 9:50 p.m. Afterwards, the program moves into the cultural portion. Following the cultural presentation is a display from the Joint Services Band. Next, the program will feature more cultural presentations, which finally culminates in the raising of the Golden Arrowhead and a fireworks display at midnight. The theme of the celebration is Reflect, Celebrate, and Inspire. Canterbury explained why this theme was chosen.
Reflect, where we can look back, because it's 50 years now we can look back from whence we came. Celebrate, of course, it's our birth anniversary, and we must be able to show some level of jollification and appreciation, and also inspire where we look to the future as to where we're heading to. So it's like what we've gone through, we enjoy, and where we're going to.
The float parade starts on the morning of Independence Day at 10 a.m. The parade was expected to have 50 groups representing 50 years. In total, 27 groups are scheduled to attend. Minister Henry emphasized why this number does not necessarily mean that the parade will be limited to just 27 floats.
I still suppose the numbers are over 50 because one organization may very well have more than one piece of float. So in terms of giving you the breakout, there are 27 agencies and individuals that would have registered. In the case of the Ministry of Education, while it's one agency, and that's the ministry which I will be on the streets representing, we have more than one. So I think the numbers are over 50 in terms of floats. And that being said, we will still have the segment.
Yesterday, the committee announced a change in the route. Minister Henry explained the reasons for this change.
Quite recently, the space at Stabrook Market Square became available. At the initial parts of the planning, that space was not available. As you know, it was occupied by vendors, and it has only become available recently. It's a bigger space than where we would have formerly planned to have our startup point, and we certainly would like to take advantage of everything that is available as it becomes available, and that's primarily the reason for the change.
The float parade will travel from Stabrook Square down Brickdam Street and directly into Durban Park. Moving the starting point of the parade to Stabrook Square effectively shortens the route of the parade. Minister Henry said it is due to the inclusion of children into the parade.
It would allow the participants, particularly our young people, the children, as you know, prior to this year's celebration, the children would not have participated in the float parade. And therefore, we need to have a route that is child-friendly. And therefore, if it's shorter, definitely it will be more child-friendly. This year's celebration is about reflection. It's about celebration. It's about inspiration. Inspiration particularly for our young people, those young children that will have an opportunity to participate and to be part of Guyana's history at 50.
Rihanna, as the big day approaches, the excitement is almost palpable. Despite the changes, this is sure to be an event that will go down in history. Back to you, Rihanna.
Thanks, George. Still ahead, our regional and international news.
Women's fashion trends change every day. That's why John Lewis Styles makes it their duty to source items directly from the manufacturing brand, offering you more choices and better prices. Women love to look great, whether it's for work or play. From clothing, shoes, accessories, to handbags, watches, fragrances. Let's make you feel like the only girl in the world. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
As we celebrate 50 years of Guyana's independence, let's get together and spend an evening at the grand Best in 50 Retro Show and Dance on Friday, May 27th, 2016 at the Pegasus Poolside. Come and reminisce as you mix with the elegant, matured, and sophisticated while you enjoy the show and party to the best retro sounds. Tickets are $15,000 per couple and $8,000 for single with dinner included. Avoid disappointment and book your tickets and tables now. For bookings and tickets, call 223-6047 or 696-5746. That's 223-6047 or 696-5746. It's the grand 50th Retro Show and Dance, Friday, May 27th from 8 p.m. at the Pegasus Poolside. Dress elegant, come early and stay late.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safetv Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safetv Channel 2. Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safetv Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
In news from the region now, in Trinidad, members of the Boys Lane March group based in Dibadi are marching against crime. The group, led by Raheem Roberts, takes part in march competitions at sports and family days. Cameraman Miguel Alexander met with the group during a practice session. Ian Wason has more.
Boys Lane certainly leads when it comes to setting the example for young people. The group is using the marching and the dance routines to fight the elements that promote criminal activities.
It's a family, and a family that prays together stays together. That's my motto. And my team is a hard-working team. Rain, thunder, storm, lightning, we came out here, we drill, and we take first place in WMERA Sports. That's what we went to do, and we did it. We aiming for first place at P&M Sports.
Mr. Roberts noted the challenging crime situation.
And yes, we know other communities have those things going on. We ourselves as Darmody youths, we are forecasting different things. Marching, we want to enter Best Village, we want to take part in PAN, we want to do different things. But the crime rate in Trinidad is very, very, very deplorable.
And what about the team? What benefits do the members see taking part in the group?
This is very important because it's giving us an opportunity to come together as a community and give the youths a chance to prove that not all youths bad, and with all the crime and stuff in the country, it have youths could make better with themselves, do better with themselves.
The Boys Lane group say they will continue to play their part in the fight against crime. Ian Wason, C News.
And internationally, Bill Cosby is due to stand trial on sexual assault charges. More than a decade after he was first accused of assault, Bill Cosby will go to trial. CNN has our story.
The feel in that courtroom was professional. Bill Cosby was there. He had to be there under law. He sat at the defense table. He didn't talk with his attorneys very much at all. It was a packed courtroom. The defense was extremely aggressive toward that judge. Now, you've just heard Gloria all read the prosecution theory just in a nutshell, and they had Andrea Constand's statement read through the detective. In the months of January or February 2004, Andrea Constand was invited to and went to Bill Cosby's home. When she got there, she said she was having emotional issues. He went upstairs. He brought down, she says, 3 blue pills. He had her take them. He also told her to drink some wine. After that, she said she suddenly felt woozy. Her legs were weak. He had to assist her to a couch. She said that she was conscious in and out, but she wasn't able to stop him from sexually assaulting her. The defense fired back on cross-examination with that statement, saying that so many things that Andrea Constand had said, she crossed out. And she wrote other things, that she had gone to Bill Cosby's home several times before that, and she had gone after that she had accompanied him and met him at Foxwoods Casino when he was performing there. And they specifically went into that because Andrea Constand had originally written that Bill Cosby had invited her to his bedroom after the show because he was going to pack. She crossed that out. And then she originally had written that they laid down on the bed together with their legs touching. She crossed that out. The defense made a point of this, and that ultimately she said we were just close to each other at that point. Now, the prosecutor objected to all of this because a preliminary hearing is not credibility. That is not taken into account. It is a prima facie case. If there's probable cause, a crime has been committed. But the way the defense got it in, they kept saying consent. There was consent to all this, and the defense was very strong in their argument and during testimony of Bill Cosby's statement, saying that Bill Cosby admitted to all the things really that Andrea Constand did, but said it was consensual, that she was not given wine, that she was given some pills, but she wasn't woozy, she wasn't unconscious, she didn't object, she never said no, and she was able to say no, she was able to talk.
And that's Safetv 2 headline news for this Tuesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Safetv 2 headline news on Facebook and YouTube. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast and on Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock for more news. For now, I'm Rihanna Ahmad signing out from this newscast, and may God richly bless Guyana.
Jubilee, Jubilee, GT, Jubilee, Jubilee, Barbies, Jubilee, Jubilee, Linden, Jubilee, 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 yeah man, Jubilee, Jubilee, oh no, Jubilee, 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 yeah, Jubilee, 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 party, Jubilee, Jubilee. 6 races we living as a family. Come together, make we build the economy. One people, one nation, one destiny. Show some love and bring out the best in me. 50 years independent nation, so we don't have no time for segregation. Join together, we'll build up the nation. Show some love to the young generation. Jubilee.